Hi, welcome back. And today in this video, we're going to be learning how to express an opinion. Expressing of opinion. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I say easy because there's no like hard and fast rules, no format, just a small paragraph of whatever you want to express or whatever you feel is your opinion after reading a paragraph, of course. Now, you see, being a learned person, there's a certain amount of pressure in the way you speak and the words that you use to communicate with other people. You need to be polite even while disagreeing and should have accurate justification to and be on point and not just say anything for speaking's sake. You have to not beat around the bush. Let's check an example. If the question comes, read the following paragraph and express your opinion on whether you agree or disagree. What are we gonna do? This paragraph is about depression. Depression can make you feel helpless. Along with exercise and meditation, there is a lot you can do on your own to fight back. Your physical activity, lifestyle, and even your way of thinking are all natural depression treatments. When you're depressed, you may feel like you can't accomplish anything. To push back, set daily goals for yourself. It temporarily boosts feel good chemicals called endorphins. It may also have long-term benefits for people with depression. Regular exercise seems to encourage the brain to rewire itself in positive ways. Staying involved and having daily responsibilities can help you maintain a lifestyle that can help counter depression. If you fight against depression, a lot of the work is mental. Changing how you think. When you're depressed, you leap to the worst possible conclusions. If I were to express my opinion on this particular paragraph, I would write it this way. Of course, in a proper border lines with proper with proper border lines, I would write, according to my observation and opinion, I strongly agree that depression is a gigantic psychological problem that people face today, regardless of age, gender, geographical differences. While it is true that physical activity, lifestyle, and way of thinking are important ways of getting rid of depression, practically, for an already depressed person, it can be very difficult to suddenly find interest in things. While I recognize that mental and physical treatment helps to fight depression, I strongly believe that spirituality can bring permanent healing. In my perspective, most depressed people are those who get disconnected from the soul element. The given paragraph speaks about temporary boost of endorphins, which may help fight depression, but I believe connection with the Creator brings meaning to life and existence. Because as we all know, depression comes from hopelessness, being unable to find purpose in life. So it occurs to me that religion gives a permanent answer and solution to depression that no medicine or exercise can give. In this in this opinion of mine, I have here put out the main things in red font color. So I hope you can notice here that the words that I want to make you know is that some some wise phrases, like for example, instead of just saying no, it's not like that, or this should be like this shouldn't be like that, you should say, according to my observation and opinion, according to my opinion, I strongly agree that. Or we can also disagree with others, or also agree with them by saying, yes, it is true. While it is true that whatever you say, you say this, it is true, of course, but practically it is not very easy. A depressed person cannot get into things or like get interested in things just easily like that. It is more than just speaking when it comes to actually living it. While I recognize that, yes, whatever you say, I recognize that it's right. And also, but then again, I strongly believe that. And if I'm going to share my opinion, I should also be wise in putting my words by using phrases like in my perspective, from the way I see in my perspective, or but I believe, or the words like, because as we all know, when I mention we all know, it means that you are also knowledgeable. It's not something that only I know. I'm sure you also you know it. So it gives a sense of not making others feel inferior while talking to you. It occurs to me that, I just feel like that. It's something that I feel. So these are the words by making the emotion our own, like according to my observation, I strongly agree, or while it is true, I somehow accept your theory, or I somehow understand your point of view. While I recognize that, like from my perspective, from my view, being a leader, being a respected person, being a learned person, being an educated person, or being a scholarly person, while speaking, you should also watch the words that you use. You should watch the you should watch your tongue. So these little phrases beautify your sentences. These little phrases add masala to your opinion. Otherwise, of course, to express someone's opinion, how hard can it be, right? But you find it difficult to express it, or you find it difficult to write it down just because you don't get the right angle with which you have to start your sentences. So these words, like according to my observation, or I strongly agree, or while I recognize that, or I believe, or in my perspective, or it occurs to me that, see, all these are ways in which you can put in your opinion without hurting other people's sentiments. Let's look at another example from your text. This is a report writing by the staff reporter reporting on the protesters setting fire to state buses. Says that the loss had been estimated up to 20 crores as a result of protesters' outrage and burning public property. And the question says you should give your opinion on this. Now, in this, I have made a short opinion. In my opinion, I strongly disagree with vandalizing and destroying the public or private property by protesters while trying to voice out their dissatisfaction. In my view, we are only destroying our own economy by choosing violence over sensible talks. While this is true that the sentiments of the public should not be ignored or overlooked, I believe that we can also find a peaceful alternate way to express our demands and come to a mutual understanding. While speaking against the chaos caused by the protesters, I believe that not all the protesters were involved in the destructive action. I feel that a few members stirred up the situation and turned the situation into a wild craze. Here again, the phrases that I want you to remember are, in my opinion, I strongly disagree, in my view, I believe that. While speaking against, I believe that, and I feel that. These are some of the phrases that you can use to express your opinion in a more polite way. So yeah, the whole point is that you should remember these short, sweet, wise words while expressing your opinion in the examination or in your future life from today onwards. Here is another question, a statement given by Prasuna Sumi Kohima, supporting media, the democracy, about democracy and the role of media in democracy, and how democracy has the freedom to speech and expression, and it has all the constitutional rights and should not be stopped by any kind of government. And it would be wrong to stop media because it is the voice of the common people in a democratic society. So now we have to read it and then express our opinion on which I've written. Too much of something is never good. While it is true that media gives a voice to the public, and to curtail media is to suppress the voice of the people, of course, but then I can't say I agree with the argument made by Prasuna Sumi, because these days media is manipulated in many ways, more openly than secretly. In my view, media has its own flaws of being biased towards certain class of people, and does so in the name of democracy. While I recognize the necessity of media and its freedom of speech and expression, it is also hard to ignore the fact that excessive power in the hands of the media will do more harm than the betterment of the nation. So I cannot agree. I've missed out I here. So I cannot agree to the statement that no government has the right to dictate what media can or cannot report. So I cannot agree to the statement that no government has the right to dictate what media can or cannot report. Of course, your opinion may be different, my opinion may be different, but then it is the way we present our opinion. That's all that matters. If you disagree, it does not matter as long as you're using your words correctly, like being polite and the magical phrases that we are, here putting out in red font. In this short paragraph of expressing my opinion in around 100 something words, I have used some words like, while it is true that, I can't say I agree with the argument made by Prasna Sumi, or in my view, or while I recognize, and also it is also hard to ignore the fact. So I cannot agree with the statement. These are some of the phrases that you can use in your examination or in your speech while arguing or expressing your opinion. So with that, we come to the end of expressing your opinion. It might be around like 4 marks or something. Study hard, your exams are approaching, festive seasons are over, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.